The night sky over the city was calm, almost peaceful. Streetlights flickered softly along the empty streets, and the distant hum of traffic faded into the quiet. People were home, finishing dinner, reading, or watching TV. Life seemed ordinary, almost boring, but that peace was about to end. Without warning, a strange light appeared high above. It was bright, brighter than the moon, and it moved fast. People stopped and stared, their hearts skipping beats. At first, it seemed like a meteor or a satellite, but it wasn't moving like anything they had ever seen. Then, one by one, the lights multiplied, forming strange shapes in the sky. In homes across the city, people rushed to windows and balconies. Phones lit up with frantic messages and calls. News alerts screamed, unidentified objects entering Earth's atmosphere. But nothing could prepare anyone for what came next. The sky opened in a blinding flash. Humans, screaming and confused, fell sudden force. Some were lifted from the ground, as if invisible hands had grabbed them. Others fell to the pavement, stunned. And then the most terrifying thing happened. Entire groups of people disappeared, vanishing in an instant. Screams filled the streets. Cars skidded, doors slammed, and chaos erupted. Families ran in every direction, searching for loved ones. But the lights were everywhere, moving like predators. In minutes, hundreds of humans had vanished without a trace. Among those taken was Ethan, a young man of 28. He had been walking home from a small job at a warehouse, earbuds in, music playing softly. One moment, he was listening to a song. The next, the world tilted, his feet left the ground, and a strange humming filled his ears. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. The world around him blurred, and then he was somewhere else. When Ethan opened his eyes, he was inside a massive room that seemed alive. Smooth walls curved in every direction, glowing faintly with colors he had never seen before. Strange machines hummed softly, and lights pulsed like a heartbeat. Humans surrounded him, all dazed, confused, terrified. He recognized some faces from the city, but most were strangers. What is this?" someone whispered, a young woman clutching a child. Before anyone could answer, a shadow moved across the room. Ethan froze. The figures were unlike anything humans had ever seen. Tall, thin, with limbs that bent in impossible ways. Their skin shimmered, almost metallic, and their eyes glowed with a cold, sharp light. They didn't speak, at least not in any language Ethan understood. But their presence filled the room with fear. The aliens, or whatever they were, moved silently among the humans. Some humans tried to step back, some screamed, but the beings paid no attention to the fear. Instead, they seemed interested in observing, almost like scientists studying a new species. Hours passed, though Ethan had no idea how long. Time felt strange here. There were no windows, no sun, only the soft pulsing light and the low hum of machines. Humans were herded into sections, separated by invisible barriers that seemed to respond to the aliens' gestures. Ethan found himself near the front of a group. A small boy tugged at his sleeve. Crying, "Where's my mom?" he asked. Ethan had no answer. He had never felt so helpless in his life. Then, a loud chime echoed through the room. A panel in the wall slid open, and a strange device floated into the center of the room. It hovered like it had a mind of its own, glowing brighter than anything Ethan had seen. The alien stepped back, watching silently. Humans stared, awestruck and terrified. Ethan couldn't look away. The device projected a beam of light into the air, forming images and shapes. At first, it looked like random patterns, but then it changed. Images of worlds far away appeared, planets with blue oceans and red skies. Cities floated in the air, and strange creatures roamed lands that defied imagination. Humans gasped. What is this?" someone whispered. The device changed again, this time showing scenes of humans fighting, not in wars on Earth, but in strange battles across unknown planets. And then, horrifyingly, humans being captured, tested, and experimented on. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. These are warnings," he said aloud. His voice shook, but no one else contradicted him. The humans around him understood. This was more than a kidnapping. This was a message. The aliens made no sound, but their movements were deliberate. They gestured at the device, almost guiding the human's attention. Ethan noticed symbols glowing on its surface. Symbols he didn't understand, but somehow they seemed familiar, as if his mind recognized them even without knowing why. Suddenly, a loud vibration shook the floor. The room split slightly, revealing a long corridor leading deeper into the ship. The aliens began moving toward it, herding humans along. Ethan and others followed, their hearts pounding, every step filled with fear. As they walked, the walls seemed alive, shifting and changing. Strange machines moved silently in the corners, watching. Humans whispered to each other, trying to make sense of what was happening. But no one had answers. Ethan felt a mix of fear, anger, and curiosity. He glanced around at the humans beside him. There were children, old people, workers, students, people from all walks of life. None of them had weapons. None of them had a plan. And yet, Ethan felt something rise inside him, a stubborn determination. We cannot just wait here, he thought. We have to survive. The corridor ended in a large chamber. At the center floated a transparent cube, inside which a strange glowing fluid moved like it had a life of its own. Around it, the aliens gathered, their limbs moving in patterns that seemed like a strange dance. Ethan edged closer, curious despite himself. The cube pulsed and then projected a holographic message. This time it was clear, words in a language that somehow humans could understand. We observe. We test. You are not prey. The words shocked the humans. Some whispered. Others laughed nervously. Ethan's mind raced. Not prey? What did that mean? Were the aliens friendly? Or was it a trick? Then the cube shifted again, showing scenes of destruction. Cities burning, planets collapsing, and humans struggling to survive. Ethan's stomach twisted. This was not just a warning. It was a challenge. The aliens watched silently as the humans absorbed the message. Then, without explanation, they began moving away, herding humans down another corridor. Ethan realized this was only the beginning. Whatever this alien cargo mission was, it was leading them somewhere unknown, and the message was just a start. As the humans moved through the twisting corridors, Ethan noticed small machines at their feet. They seemed harmless at first, but he had a gut feeling. These devices were tracking them, recording them, studying them. Every step they took, every word they whispered, was being observed. Hours, or maybe days, passed. The humans were fed, watered, and kept in strange quarters. Some tried to communicate with the aliens, but the beings only watched, responded with gestures, or moved on. Fear settled in the hearts of many. Still, Ethan felt a spark of defiance. We will not be powerless, he whispered to himself. At night, or what passed for night on the ship, the humans huddled together. They shared stories of home, tried to comfort each other, and slowly began to plan. Ethan spoke quietly to a small group. We don't know why they took us, but we know this. We are alive and we can survive. We have to watch, learn, and wait for the right moment. And when that moment comes, we fight. A small cheer rose among the group, tentative but real. Fear was still strong, but so was determination. Humans, Ethan realized, were hard to break. Then, the cube activated again. This time, the message was different. Words flashed. Observe, adapt, respond. Humanity's answer will shape the future. Ethan's eyes widened. It was a challenge. The aliens were not just abductors. They were testing humans, learning from them, and waiting for a response. And in that moment, Ethan understood the truth. The humans on this ship were no longer just victims. They were part of something bigger, something that could change the future of Earth, and maybe the galaxy. The ship moved deeper into space, lights flashing past the windows. Humans clutched each other, staring out at the stars. Ethan whispered again, barely audible. We are not prey. Not ever. And for the first time since the abduction, hope, wild, dangerous, and unstoppable, burned in their hearts. The alien ship hummed softly as it drifted through the void. Outside, stars streaked past like silver threads, distant suns flickering in the endless black. Inside, humans moved cautiously, their eyes wide with wonder and fear. They had survived the initial abduction, but now something far stranger awaited them, a message from their captors. Ethan walked beside the young woman who had been clutching her child the night of the abduction. Her name was Mara, and though fear had turned her voice fragile, her eyes were sharp and alert. "They want us to understand something," Ethan whispered. "The device, the cube, it wasn't just a warning. It's a message." Mara nodded slowly. "But why? What do they want from us?" No one had answers. The aliens moved silently, observing every gesture, every glance. Humans felt like specimens in a laboratory, but Ethan had noticed something unusual. The aliens were curious, not aggressive. The cube floated into the center of the chamber again. Its glow illuminated the room, reflecting on terrified and exhausted faces. This time, the projections were different. Instead of destruction, the humans saw planets alive with civilizations. Cities floating above oceans, forests that glowed with color, creatures that defied imagination. Some planets seemed peaceful, others in chaos. A hush fell over the humans. They were mesmerized. But then the images shifted again, this time showing humans on Earth being taken by alien ships, including scenes they had experienced firsthand. Ethan's stomach twisted. It was proof. The aliens had watched humanity for a long time, recording everything. "They're studying us," a man muttered. His voice trembled. Like lab rats. Ethan shook his head. "Not like lab rats. More like a test. They want something from us. But I don't think it's just pain. They want to see how we react, how we survive." Mara looked at him, her brow furrowed. "But why? What could they want? Money? Resources? Why humans?" Before Ethan could answer, the cube projected another image. This time it was clearer, sharper, and almost alive. Humans gasped. A voice spoke inside their minds, soft, melodic, yet commanding. "Humans, you are not prey. You are more than you know. Observe, adapt, respond. Your choices will shape the future." The words echoed in Ethan's mind. He felt a strange power in them, like a challenge. Not prey. We are more than we know. Could it be true? Could humans, small, fragile, and unarmed, really be more than what they appear to the aliens? The projection shifted again. Humans on alien worlds were fighting back against forces much stronger than themselves. Entire civilizations had been destroyed, but some had survived. Ethan realized the message was a warning and a lesson at the same time. He turned to Mara. "They're showing us examples. We could be next if we fail. But they also want us to learn." Mara's eyes widened. "Learn how?" Ethan didn't know, but he could feel it. The cube was more than a device. It was a tool, a guide, and a test all in one. The aliens made no move, but the humans noticed something. Every time they hesitated, the cube pulsed stronger, and the aliens watched closer. It was as if the beings were testing their attention, their curiosity, their will. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time had lost meaning on the ship. Humans whispered, shared theories, and tried to understand projections. Some believed the aliens were benevolent, offering a chance to join a greater universe. Others feared it was a trap, designed to break their minds. Ethan focused on the cube, studying every movement, every symbol. Slowly, a realization struck him. The cube responded to human thought and action. When someone focused on a symbol, it pulsed and changed. When humans worked together, patterns emerged. "We can interact with it," Ethan said, his voice trembling with excitement. "We're not just watching. We can respond." Mara stepped closer. "But how? We don't even know their language." Ethan shook his head. "It doesn't matter. They're not giving us words. They're giving us ideas, images, feelings. We understand with our minds, not our voices." The humans began experimenting. They focused on the cube, imagining their homes, their families, their struggles. Slowly, the projections shifted. Images of Earth appeared, then humans defending themselves, then humans working together, building, creating, surviving. The aliens watched silently, their glowing eyes fixed on the humans' efforts. The cube pulsed faster. Ethan felt a thrill. Humans were learning, adapting, and responding. They were passing the test. But then, the cube changed again, this time darker, more ominous. Images of war appeared. Cities on Earth burning, humans captured, strange weapons firing across the sky. The message was clear. Failure was possible. Death was possible. Ethan clenches fists. They're warning us, but also showing us that we have a choice. We can survive. We can fight back. Mara nodded, her fear mixing with determination. Then we have to understand everything. Learn their weaknesses. Learn their technology. We can't just sit here. Other humans joined in, forming small groups to study the cube and share ideas. They noticed small patterns in the alien technology, how doors responded, how lights pulse, how certain areas of the ship reacted to their presence. Slowly, humans were discovering the first clues to using the ship against the aliens. As they worked, Ethan realized something important. The aliens had underestimated humanity. They assumed humans were weak, scared, and easy to control. But humans were not like other species. They adapted. They learned. They fought with their minds, not just their bodies. One night, or what felt like night on the ship, Ethan gathered a small group in a quiet chamber. The others had gone to rest or study. "We need to plan," he whispered. "We have the cube, we have the patterns. And most important, we have each other. The aliens are testing us. But every test we pass makes us stronger. Every time we learn something about them, we gain an advantage. We need to be ready for what comes next." A young man named Riley spoke up. "But how? We're just humans. We have no weapons, no ships, nothing to fight with." Ethan smiled faintly. "We have something better. Our minds, our courage. And soon, we'll have their technology. If we're careful, we can learn how to use it. And when the time comes, we fight in ways they won't expect." The group nodded. Fear was still there, but so was hope. And hope, Ethan realized, was a dangerous weapon. The cube activated again, projecting a final image before night fell, or what passed for night. A message appeared, glowing brightly. "Observe, learn, adapt. The choice is yours. Humanity will shape the future." The words were clear. It was no longer just a warning. It was a challenge. And for the first time, Ethan felt something more than fear. Excitement. Humans were not prey. They were not cargo. They were potential. As the humans settled into their quarters, thoughts of home and Earth filled their minds. But unlike before, there was no despair. There was a plan forming, fragile but growing stronger with every passing hour. Ethan lay awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the aliens, the cube, and the message. He could feel it in his bones. The next step would be dangerous. The aliens were powerful, far stronger than humans. But humans had something the aliens did not understand: adaptability, cunning, and unity. And somewhere deep in the ship, the cube pulsed, waiting for humanity to take the next step, waiting to see what they would do. Ethan whispered into the quiet room, to no one in particular, "We are not prey. Not now. Not ever." And for the first time, he believed it. Outside the chambers, the alien ship drifted closer to the edge of a star system. Humans were alive, but the test had only begun. And whatever awaited them in the depths of space, the message was clear. The future depended on how humanity responded. The hum of the alien ship was louder tonight, or maybe Ethan's ears had grown more aware of it. The walls pulsed with soft colors, shadows twisting in impossible patterns. Humans had spent days, or maybe weeks, studying the cube, learning its rhythms, its reactions, and its secrets. Fear still lingered, but now it was mixed with something stronger: curiosity and defiance. Ethan moved quietly down a long corridor with Mara and a small group of humans. Their plan was risky. The aliens did not attack, but they watched. Every gesture, every whisper could be noticed. The humans had discovered something remarkable. The ship's doors, lights, and some machines reacted to thought patterns, emotions, and focus. If we move together, stay calm, and focus, we might control part of the ship. Ethan whispered, "We can escape this place, or at least explore it. Learn their weaknesses." Mara frowned. "But what if they notice us? What if it triggers some alarm?" "Then we'll adapt," Ethan replied, eyes scanning the corridor. "We've survived this long. We can survive this too." The corridor ended in a vast chamber filled with machines and panels unlike anything humans had seen. Lights blinked in strange sequences, and the air vibrated faintly with energy. At the center, a platform hovered, a cockpit of sorts, glowing with alien symbols. Ethan's heart raced. That's our chance. He led the group closer, careful to avoid the areas where the aliens patrolled. They had learned to read the beings' movements, subtle signals in posture, glowing eyes, and limb gestures. The aliens were powerful, but they were predictable in their patterns. Riley, the young man who had doubted them before, whispered, "I still don't understand. How are we going to fly that thing? We've never even touched a ship like this." Ethan smiled faintly. "We won't fly it yet. First, we learn. The cube teaches us more than we think. Watch the symbols. Focus on them. Imagine what you want to do. The ship responds to our minds as much as to its controls." They approached the platform. Ethan placed a hand on the glowing surface. The symbols shifted, forming a pattern he recognized from the cube. He felt a strange connection, as if the ship itself was listening, feeling, and testing him. "Focus," he said. "We are not prey. We are humans. We survive." The lights pulsed, faster and brighter. A low vibration filled the chamber. Ethan could feel it in his chest. Slowly, carefully, he moved his fingers over the symbols. The platform responded, tilting slightly. The ship hummed in resonance, almost acknowledging the human's intent. Mara gasped, "It's working." Ethan nodded. "It's not perfect, but we can learn. If we control this, even a little, we can get somewhere the aliens don't expect." They practiced quietly, learning the ship's responses, testing their focus, and noticing patterns. Every success gave them courage. Every failure taught them patience. The cube's lessons had prepared them more than they realized. Humans were fast learners, adaptive and determined, and the ship seemed to sense it. Then the alarms blared. Sharp, piercing, echoing through corridors. Humans froze. The aliens moved immediately, faster than anything the humans had ever seen. They were alert, precise, dangerous. Ethan's heart pounded. Move. Stay calm. Focus. The group scattered, slipping through side corridors. The aliens split, pursuing, their glowing eyes scanning, their limbs moving in ways no human body could mimic. But humans had learned to hide in shadows, exploit blind spots, and use the ship's patterns. They moved silently, carefully, hearts racing, minds sharp. Riley stumbled, nearly falling into a glowing energy field. Mara grabbed him just in time. "Focus. Think clearly," she hissed. Ethan led the group to a smaller ship, one that looked like a transport vessel. It hovered silently, its controls glowing, waiting. Ethan placed his hands on the panel, feeling the energy thrumming beneath his fingers. He closed his eyes, imagining the controls, imagining the route they needed. Slowly, the ship responded. It tilted, hovered, and hummed as if alive. Humans gasped in astonishment. For the first time, they felt a taste of control in this alien world. "Go!" Ethan shouted. They lifted off, moving through the ship's corridors, weaving between alien patrols. The ship's interior twisted and changed as if the humans' focus influenced it. Doors opened, passages shifted, and shadows moved in their favor. The aliens reacted immediately. They pursued, faster than anything humans had ever imagined. But Ethan and the others had adapted, reading their movements, predicting their patterns, and staying one step ahead. The corridors opened into a vast hangar. Stars glimmered through enormous windows. Ethan's breath caught. The ship was massive, filled with smaller craft, alien vehicles, and strange machines. Humans had never imagined anything like it. They navigated the hangar carefully, keeping the stolen ship low and silent. Another alarm blared, and alien ships began moving, patrolling the hangar. Ethan's mind raced. "We have to leave. We have to escape before they trap us." He focused, imagining the stars outside, imagining the exit, imagining freedom. The ship responded, tilting and accelerating smoothly. Humans held tight, hearts pounding as they weaved through massive pillars, alien machinery, and patrolling ships. Finally, The hangar doors opened. The endless black of space stretched before them, stars glittering like scattered diamonds. Ethan took a deep breath. We're almost free. But the aliens were not done. Ships moved toward them, sleek, fast, deadly. Ethan gritted his teeth. Hold on. Focus. Think fast. The humans used everything they had learned. The cube, the ship's responsiveness, the patterns of the aliens, to outmaneuver the pursuers. The alien ships were faster, stronger, and more precise. But humans were clever, unpredictable, and daring. They used the ship's corridors, the hangar layout, and timing to their advantage, slipping through impossible spaces and confusing their pursuers. Mara's voice trembled. We're gonna make it, aren't we? Ethan smiled, even as sweat dripped down his forehead. We're not just going to survive. We're going to fight back. And this is the first step. The group navigated into deep space, leaving the massive alien freighter behind. They floated among the stars, free for the first time since the abduction, but aware of the dangers still waiting for them. The cube had shown them the stakes, and the aliens would not let them go easily. Ethan looked at the humans around him, Mara, Riley, and the others. Fear was still there, but so was determination. Humans had adapted, they had learned, and now they had a chance. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Ethan whispered, almost to himself, we are not prey, and we will never be. But as the humans drifted further from the alien ship, a strange pulse echoed through the stolen craft. The cube, which had been quiet, activated again. Symbols glowed brighter, patterns shifting faster than ever. Ethan felt it in his mind. The aliens were watching. They were learning. And this was far from over. Still, hope burned in the hearts of humans. They had escaped. They had survived. And most importantly, they had learned how to fight back in ways the aliens would never expect. Ethan looked at the stars ahead, knowing one thing for certain. The next step would be dangerous, unpredictable, and possibly deadly. But humans were ready. They were not prey. And somewhere deep in the ship, the aliens observed, their glowing eyes fixed on the humans who dared to escape. They had underestimated humanity, and that was a mistake they would come to regret. The stolen alien ship drifted silently through the void. Stars stretched endlessly, twinkling like scattered diamonds across black velvet. Humans, once terrified and powerless, now held a new sense of purpose. Fear had not vanished. It never would, but it had sharpened into something far stronger. Determination. Ethan stood on the bridge, hands hovering over the strange alien controls. The ship hummed beneath his fingers, alive with energy and responsiveness. Each light, panel, and symbol pulsed as if the ship itself acknowledged the human's presence. We need to plan carefully, Ethan said to the group gathered around him. The aliens are powerful, far beyond what we can imagine, but they have weaknesses. They trust patterns, predictability, structure. Humans, we are the opposite. Unpredictable, clever, and united, we are unstoppable. Mara nodded. Then we show them what they didn't expect. We don't just survive. We fight. On our terms. Riley, still wide-eyed but confident now, asked, but how? We have their ship, but how can we face them? They outnumber us, outgun us, and they're stronger. Ethan smiled faintly. We don't fight like they expect. We fight smart, using what we've learned. Their technology, their rules, all of it works for us if we understand it. And we do. The humans spent hours, no days, studying the alien ship, understanding its systems, and practicing maneuvers. They learned that the ship reacted to thought, focus, and intention, not just physical input. They discovered hidden storage bays, weapons, energy systems, and communication arrays. Every human contributed, sharing observations, testing ideas, improvising solutions. The cube, once a silent teacher, became an active partner. Symbols pulsed faster when humans concentrated, guiding them toward deeper understanding. Images projected from it showed Earth, the alien freighter, and possible battle strategies, but always in abstract, challenging forms. Humans had to interpret them, adapt, and imagine solutions. Ethan realized something incredible. The cube didn't just teach. They had earned its respect. The aliens had assumed humans were weak, passive, and fearful. They had underestimated human ingenuity, courage, and adaptability. And that mistake was about to be exploited. The moment of action came sooner than expected. A pulse ran through the ship, a warning. The alien freighter had detected the stolen vessel. Red lights flashed across the bridge as massive alien ships appeared on sensors, converging like predators on prey. "They found us," Mara said, her voice tight with tension. Ethan's jaw hardened. "Good. That's what we wanted. They think they're coming to capture us. But we have the advantage. They don't know we've learned. They don't know what we discovered." The humans moved quickly, preparing defenses, activating energy shields, and linking controls across the bridge. Every light, panel, and device was manipulated with precision. They weren't just reacting. They were anticipating, turning the alien technology against its creators. The first wave of alien ships approached, sleek and deadly. Ethan guided the stolen vessel into a narrow asteroid field. The pursuing ships hesitated, unsure of how to navigate. Humans grinned. Small, unexpected advantages mattered. From the cube, symbols glowed like commands. Ethan followed them instinctively, weaving the ship through impossible spaces, twisting and turning as if the vessel were alive. The aliens fired weapons, energy beams cutting through the void, but humans dodged with a combination of skill, intuition, and the alien ship's responsiveness. "This is only the beginning," Ethan whispered. "Wait until we show them our real power." They reached a hidden section of the ship they had discovered days earlier, a storage bay filled with alien drones, weapons, and experimental devices. Humans moved quickly, arming themselves, modifying the drones to respond to human thought. Within minutes, they had an entire fleet of automated allies, silent, deadly, and obedient. Ethan activated the drones. They sprang to life, weaving between asteroids and striking alien ships with precision. The first wave of attackers faltered, confused by the unexpected counterattack. Humans watched, hearts racing, as the aliens struggled to adapt to tactics they had never imagined. Mara's eyes sparkled. "They're panicking. We've never even fired a weapon ourselves." Ethan nodded. "They thought humans were weak. They thought we would run. But we adapt, we learn, and we fight smarter than they ever expected." The battle escalated. Alien ships fired continuously, but the humans' drones intercepted beams, created diversions, and attacked strategically. Every move was calculated, using knowledge gained from the cube. Humans were not just surviving. They were winning the fight in ways the aliens could not predict. Ethan guided the stolen vessel into a perfect position, hovering above a massive alien warship. He activated a device from the storage bay, something the cube had hinted at. The device released a pulse of energy that scrambled alien sensors and temporarily shut down weapon systems. The humans seized the opportunity, sending drones in to disable critical systems. The aliens faltered, surprised and enraged. Their glowing eyes scanned the battlefield, searching for the humans who dared defy them. But the humans were everywhere at once, dodging, striking, and retreating in perfect rhythm. They had become a force the aliens could not control. Amid the chaos, Ethan noticed a projection from the cube. Symbols formed words humans could understand. Courage plus ingenuity equals victory. Fear is weakness. Humanity defines the future. Ethan's jaw tightened. He had never felt more certain of anything. Humans were not just participants. They were shapers of their destiny. The alien freighter, massive and imposing, began firing a concentrated energy beam at the human's vessel. Ethan tilted the ship, dodging the blast with seconds to spare. Drones intercepted smaller beams, and humans inside the ship coordinated attacks on the freighter's weak points. Mara gripped Ethan's arm. "Do you think we could destroy it?" Ethan smiled grimly. "Not destroy. Disable. Show them humans are not prey." The stolen vessel dug toward the freighter, weaving through the chaos. Drones launched, striking engines, communication arrays, and weapon nodes. Alien ships panicked, firing at each other in confusion. Humans had turned fear into power, chaos into strategy. Finally, the freighter's main systems began to fail. Energy fields flickered, engines sputtered, and the ship shuddered. Humans cheered silently inside their vessel, though the danger was far from over. Ethan activated the final device, a modified drone that pulsed with the cube's energy. It released a burst that scrambled alien sensors across the fleet. The ships went dark temporarily, unable to track or respond. Humans had created an opening to escape. The stolen vessel shot forward, leaving the alien fleet behind. Stars stretched endlessly ahead, and humans looked back at the chaos they had created. For the first time, fear was replaced with triumph. Mara exhaled, voice trembling. We did it. Ethan nodded. We survived. We learned. And we fought back. But this is only the beginning. The aliens will return. They always do. But next time we will be ready. The cube floated in the center of the vessel, glowing softly. Its symbols shifted, forming words. Humanity answered. Humanity adapts. Humanity endures. The future is yours. Ethan stared at the message, feeling the weight of its meaning. Humans had taken their first step in a fight that could span galaxies. They had been tested, and they had proven themselves. They were not prey. They were not cargo. They were humanity, strong, clever, united, and unstoppable. The stolen vessel drifted into deep space, carrying humans who had once been terrified, now empowered and ready for whatever lay ahead. The alien freighter, damaged and confused, retreated into the darkness, its creators shaken by the audacity of the species they had underestimated. Ethan looked at the humans around him, Mara, Riley, and the others. Their eyes shone with determination, hope, and defiance. Together, they had changed the course of their lives, Earth's future, and perhaps the galaxy itself. He whispered quietly, almost to himself, "We are not prey. Not now. Not ever. Humanity answers, and we will never back down." As the stars stretched endlessly ahead, humans aboard the stolen ship prepared for what would come next. The battle had been won, but the war for survival, respect, and freedom was only beginning. And for the first time in their lives, humans felt truly unstoppable.